I live my life a quarter of a mile at a time. For those 10 seconds or less, I'm free. Welcome to the Lazarus and Dangerfield Show. It's fast
That was my car noise.
and it's not so furious this week. You
We're never
guessed it,
furious.
it's car chases. We're never furious.
No.
We're angry. We drive angry. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. That was a very good intro.
Stop the voice
I like
now.
it. I like it. No, keep the voice going.
We try.
It works.
Smoldering.
It's like I'm on smoldering away. Smolder. You got a pout as well.
Speaking of smoldering, there's a lot of it going on this week.
Oh my God. I don't know if I can do the entire show with you talking that way, but I kind of feel like I should. So yeah, what are we looking at this week, Mr. Diesel?
So it's that was terrible. I was quite good actually, but I don't know.
Well, on this week's episode, we are looking at our favorite car chase movies, but that is coming up later. What have we got coming up in this episode?
This week, we're going to get freaky. We have Cruella coming up, because who doesn't like a mean lady?
Wow.
And we have the new film Spiral from the Book of Saw.
So a nice mix of movies.
Yes, kids meet horror. Perfect combination.
Cool. Okay, so shall I begin? Should we start off light-hearted with Cruella? Okay.
Well, Cruella isn't really light-hearted, is she? But
no. So this is new to Disney Plus. It's obviously a Disney movie, and it's about basically the story of Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians, basically who she is, where she came from, and how she came to be.
So Glenn Close, yeah?
No. Although Glenn Close was absolutely amazing as Cruella de Vil in previous movies.
Is, I believe, actually. No, I know it's not Glenn Close, but I believe actually she's a producer on this film.
Possibly. But so this is one of those movies where if I wasn't doing the show, I probably wouldn't watch. You know, it's not something that kind of appeals to me. I'm not interested in finding out the backstory of Cruella de Vil. However, saying that, because we are doing the show and it's a new movie, and I'm like, okay, let's give it a go, I was pleasantly surprised. It's a really good movie. It's got an absolutely amazing cast, possibly a tad long. It's 2 hours, 15 minutes. So it did feel just a bit long, maybe about 20 minutes too long.
What's the story, Mr. Dangerfield?
Well, I mean, the story is basically the story of who Cruella de Vil is, who she is, starting off with her as a young girl, and how she becomes to be. It's her life, essentially her life story, how she becomes to be this well-known villain, Cruella de Vil, and what happens in her life for that to happen.
Oh, her name's Estella, not Cruella.
And you know what? It had a really good turn of how she becomes Cruella de Vil. I really liked the turn. No spoilers, obviously, but it was done really, really well. And like I said, it's got an absolutely amazing cast. So Emma Stone plays Cruella, and she was fantastic at that role. It's also got Emma Thompson in, who is amazing as always, as she is in most of her films. Mark Strong, who's been in a number of films. He had a great spot. There's also a couple of weird ones in there. So there's someone called Joel Fry. If anyone's watched the comedy series Plebs, which is a brilliant series, he's in that. And also, what's his name? Kayvan Novak, who is from the just incredible series What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay.
So he's in it. He's not in it a lot, but he's in it, and he's brilliant at the parts he does. But yeah, the acting acting in this movie, the storytelling in this movie is
I'll give
fantastic.
you some advice. If you need to talk about power, you don't have it.
Well, I don't have it, which is why I need to talk about it, which is why I'm here. Am I going to have to catch you up a lot, or can you keep
The
up?
soundtrack as well, it's all set in the 60s, so the soundtrack is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant throughout. But yeah, I would recommend this film. It is a fun film. It's a good, enjoyable family movie. And not just a great family film, it's a film for anyone. I just sat on my own and watched it and really enjoyed it. Just a quick kind of typo though, I did just check, and it's set in the 70s, not the 60s, but it does have a very, it is part of it set in the 60s and it has a very 60s feel to it. But the majority of it is set in the 70s. And it's kind of left open for a sequel. There may not be one. The ending is done well enough that it doesn't need a sequel.
Would that just be called DeVille?
No, I see where you're coming from, but no. If anything, it would be a
I think that's a missed opportunity, to be honest. I think it is. They probably already got the websites ready,
maybe
trademarks, branding.
But
no-brainer. Disney missing the boat.
Disney don't miss any boat. The House of Mouse is all over everything.
They're like the plague. They're coronavirus for animation.
That was way better than the Vin Diesel version. Mickey Mouse all the way.
That was quite a good impression. I'll give you
that. So that is my recommendation. Yeah, definitely worth a watch.
Question: was there Dalmatians?
I'd like to answer that with another question. Why haven't you watched the movie?
Because I've been getting my quick segue into the next movie, Spiral on.
Nice. So Spiral from the Book of Saw. I've had all kinds of reviews of this movie, but I only trust one review, and that comes from Dr. Lazarus.
Yes, I watched the new Saw film. After swearing I'd never ever watch a film like this again, here I am, sucking it up for you guys. So I remember seeing Saw 2 and being utterly disgusted by it. And I actually can't remember how many of the Saw franchise I've seen. Quite a few. Obviously, most of us have seen number 1.
I think there's been 7, haven't there?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen them all. I remember seeing 2 and just being like, ooh.
Yeah.
But it could have been 4. It's all a bit of a blur.
They're all generally
it's
the
kind
same.
of, yeah. The problem is with a lot of these franchises like this, I always loved Final Destination. Think they have these amazing creative ways of killing off teens. But if you had to hammer me on which is which, I'd be like, I'm pretty sure there's a guy from Dawson's Creek in the first one. Anyway, I digress. So the story is Spiral. It's basically set in the same city, and basically we have Chris Rock as your lead. I bet most people didn't see that one coming. Yeah, exactly.
You pull a gun on your old man? You out of your fucking mind? I could have killed you.
What are you talking about? I got the gun.
I could have killed you.
Working in the shadows with his father, Detective Ezekiel Zeke Banks, and his rookie partner take charge of an investigation into the grisly murders that are eerily reminiscent of the city's gruesome past. Unwittingly entrapped in a deepening mystery, Zeke finds himself at the center of the killer's morbid game. There you go.
Wow.
That is your plot. Yeah. So, without giving away too much, it has Chris Rock as your lead, and Samuel Jackson is in this movie again. Sammy boy, I feel like we're getting some reoccurring characters on this show. I really feel like we are. Hey, we have a lot of love for these people. look, this film, I don't want to give away too much. It's fresh, it's new. If you like Saw, this is definitely up your street. If you love horror, it's definitely up your street. This isn't gonna win any awards for acting. It's not original, but it kind of puts a fresh spin on it.
Okay.
It's, you know, like, one of the things I was like, okay, Sword's back. Here we go again. And it's kind of like when your favorite band goes away for 10 years and they drop an album and you're like, do you know what? I haven't heard them in a while. Let's give them a crack. It's like the Strokes have just come back. They've been around. They've been away for donkey's years, and I quite like the Strokes. Wasn't a fan of them back in the day, but really grew to love them over the last few years. Anyway, I'm not talking music. This is the Strokes of movies, Saw, if that's your thing. Chris Rock.
Is it as gruesome as all the other Saw films?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
It's Saw. There are times in this movie where I'm just like,
That's the thing. If you go back and
it.
watch the original Saw now, it's really quite tame compared to all the other Saw movies. Yeah, compared to all the other Saw movies.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, it's definitely along the lines of the latter ones. It's pretty gruesome. Story is, I should just say, so same city, Saw copycat, because obviously the original Saw guy, the whole point was he was dying, and it was his kind of final wish. Anyway, he's this Saw movie incarnation, basically he's going after the police without giving away the plot, because that is the plot. Samuel Jackson is in it, and I would have to say Samuel Jackson is classic Sammy boy. I am not joking. There are some amazing lines by him.
I'm sorry, but I think your face was trespassing on my property.
And this is a guy in this, and I wanted to say Chris Rock looks old. Sammy boy is in his 70s.
Yeah, he is.
He looks amazing. And he has the same vigor that he had 20 years ago. He's just some great lines. He drops just his catchphrases all the time. And it was just great to see him in a sort of a role that I kind of, I haven't seen him in a while. Obviously, you've had him as Nick Fury and sort of everything else is in it. It's been great to get a little bit of the old reminiscent Sammy boy out.
Nice.
And yeah, I guess that's all I've got to say about it. If it's your bag, definitely worth a watch. If you enjoy a horror movie, which I don't, definitely still worth a watch. And it's Saw. They weren't bad movies. They redefined a new sort of era in horror. This sort of slasher. It kind of killed off the slasher genre, didn't it? Before that, you had your Screams and your Friday the 13th.
Well, we got to rewatch Scream. What a classic!
Yeah, we do.
Movie.
Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell. But yeah, no, do you know what? It's good to put some fresh eyes on it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, for me, I'll probably give it a miss. I reckon. So, I've seen like 3 Saw films.
It's definitely not one you want to watch before bed. The thing is, what attracted me to it was, and I know I hear you on this, where it was the fact that Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson were in it, and that was what I would, if it was just a Saw remake, I would have completely skipped over it. I'm not joking.
Hello, Detective Banks. I'm here to help reform the Metro Police, to remind them of their oath to the people of this city.
But it was just a combination of those two people, and Chris Rock, he generally, if you look at the films he's done, they're generally comedies, Grown Ups, Head of State, and Samuel Jackson obviously will do everything and anything, but just even having them, I couldn't help but thinking all the way through, are they gonna die? Are they gonna die? Are they gonna die? Are they gonna die? Because it's Saw, not many people survive the film.
Very true.
So you can't, but they're also people you love. You can't, a lot of the time we can separate actor from character, and that's what cinema's about. With this, it's Chris Rock. It's Chris Rock. Seeing him in a role like this is very new. Just like watching Sacha Baron Cohen and Trial of Chicago 7 or any of his more serious roles, you're just like, but wait, this is Borat, and so it's hard to sort of get out of that mindset. With Samuel Jackson, obviously more used to his sort of range and diversity, but still, yeah, I would say definitely it's one of those ones. It's an hour and a half long. It's not, it's one of those things you can have on, watch it. I'd say probably not the last thing you want to watch before bed. It's Saw, so they always have creative ways of gruesomely killing people. So I don't know who or how they come up with this. The people that do definitely need their head looking at there.
Oh, good. Yeah. That's what I always think. How do
Definitely
you come up
worth.
with these things?
Yeah.
But anyway,
But I'd
excellent.
say definitely check it out if it's your bag.
Hello, Detective Fitch. I want to play a game.
Excellent. Well, that's it for this week's new movies. Thank you for joining us as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when the next episode is up. Do you have any final words for us, Mr. Vin Diesel?
Go fast or go home.
And there you have it.